Right, Campbell's comments out and about doing something very, very different. Danny Laws, hello, mate.
How you going, Paulie Campbell?
Very good, mate. We have had a great association over the years through my dentistry life, if you like, and the likes. We've both changed a little bit. Southside stock feeds, firstly, how's it going?
Yeah, no, it's going really good. You know, COVID was quite positive for our business. A lot of people staying at home doing the odd jobs, and it's still going along good. We're pretty happy, yeah.
Right, we're here for a very, very important reason. We can hear a chainsaw going in the background.
That's right.
We're not going to stop him because he's doing some great work. We're here outside the Kilmore Racing Precinct, I suppose. What is it actually called?
It's the Kilmore Racecourse and Recreational Reserve. So it's a Crown allotment that the racecourse sits on. And the trustees that run the reserve are volunteers. So we sort of run the land that the racecourse sits on. We're just trying to help people with like the recreational side of it. So.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on. So when people drive in now, I suppose from the north end, if you like, they'll see major changes. And major changes initially are the beautiful cypress trees that were there, that I suppose were the flagship of this area. Everyone used to come and see them. They're no longer there.
Yeah, no, they got taken down a couple of years ago now with the government grant. They were up to 90 years old, and we had arborists go over them, and the government had arborists go over them. They're at their life's end. We had one nearly take out the Telstra tower there, and they were dropping limbs on in the middle of the walkway that were like, half a foot wide, and it was on a weekly basis, and they were failing. There was also branches falling on the Kilmore East Road. It was making it hazardous for traffic, so the call was made to pull them down. So we're very fortunate that the government pulled together with council and got that job done, and we've replanted more trees to grow up as another avenue. So yeah, look, it was very sad at the time, but sometimes in life things have to change, for the better of the community.
No one likes change.
No, they don't.
No one. It doesn't matter what. Like, there'll be people saying, "Oh, they should have left them, should have done what they could, or just put more cypress trees back in."
That's right.
Not always possible.
No, look, we consult the government and council consulted, and they got what they think's the right lot of trees that have gone in, and like in 3 or 4 years' time, it'll be a beautiful avenue again, and we're trying to make it more attractive for the community with the sculptures and what we're trying to achieve here.
We'll get onto those in a sec. What it'll mean though is our children, and then they'll only remember it for these sculptures when they come here, not the cypress trees as we did.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, my wife and I had our wedding photos taken in those cypress trees. It wasn't an easy decision to make, but if one of those trees had come down in a storm and taken out a family of 5 in a car, that wouldn't have been great either.
No.
Or a young child walking down on his bike or walking along had been taken out by one of them limbs, it wouldn't have been great either. So, you have to make decisions sometimes, And like I said, it was for the benefit of the community, and it's one that was happened, and we're trying to move on from it.
Now, it is Crown land.
That's correct.
And there's a trustee that's been entrusted, and I think it says out there about 128 years on the sign.
128 years or something like that, the trustees have looked after the land here. Like I said, we're volunteers. The racecourse uses the land, obviously, but there are other organisations that use the Crown allotment as well. The Kilmore Pony Club, the Kilmore Men's Shed, the Kilmore Cricket Club and Football Club occasionally use it. The Show Society have had the show here for 120 years. They're a major part of the recreational reserve. So it's it is a racecourse, but it's also a recreational reserve, and we think it's important that as the community in Kilmore grows, it's supposed to double in the next 10 years, that it's an asset that the community can look forward to using along with the racecourse, and hopefully it'll thrive.
It's one thing racecourses have to do, embrace the communities, because it's the easiest way to grow. If you're part of the community, you'll continue to grow. Yeah,
well, if you're not inclusive nowadays, you're probably behind the 8 ball. So, a lot of people go to the races over the years. Oh, gee whiz, 120 years, a lot of people have come to the races at Kilmore. And the show society, same thing. It's a real place for people to meet.
Yep.
A racecourse and a recreational reserve. I mean, it always saddens me when a lot of these small tracks get closed, around Victoria and other parts, because a lot of those race days are where people come to meet. Farmers do deals. They meet up with their friends. It's good for their mental health.
Yep.
And it might only be 1 or 2 days a year that happens, but when you're working out on a broadacre farm and you don't get to see many people, it can have a big impact on people's mental well-being.
Absolutely, it can. The change is significant. For starters, there's a free dog run.
That's right.
That's already been put in behind the tower, and that's something, I suppose, new to the community for the dogs to be able to play.
Yeah, the trustees rented the part of the land over there for the council, and the council got some government grants or whatever to build the dog off lead park. We thought that, and the council were trying to find a position where the locals could get their dogs off the lead for a run and whatever, and it's proved very popular.
And that's where this is going to complement that, as far as going back to the community, because we're going to have a walk or a run, that not a run because I won't be able to be off the lead, but I'll say on the lead because of the local vegetation and the likes. But about about 1.6, 1.7k walk.
Yeah, it's about a 3 kilometre round trip from the dog off lead park and around the outskirts of the reserve, so it's still part of the Crown allotment, and it's a walk through the bush that's around the outside of the racetrack, and it comes out near up to where the cricket club is. And we're calling it a return walk. If people want to continue on to Hunts Road and come back around this way, they can. But for the safety of the community, we'd like them to stay on the track that's going to be made for them. And we just think that it'll be multi-generational, and it'll be used for our kids and our grandkids, hopefully.
Plenty of car parking.
Yep.
Great place. Like, leave the dogs there, go for a walk. Not leave the dogs there, let them have a run and then take them for a walk.
That's right.
And then that part is good, and it gives back to the community. And the reason the chainsaw, now I've told you that we'll have no worries hearing us over the top of the chainsaw. I reckon he's wound it up since we started doing the interview. But there's these beautiful sculptures that are getting done at the start of it, and there's going to be one a little way into it as well. They're going to have a fair bit of significance to what's going on here at Kilmore. Yeah,
look, when the trees come down, like I said, it was something that not the trustees and government and council didn't want to happen, but it had to happen, and the trustees at the time thought that it'd be a good idea if we could somehow capture, another use for the trees. So, we got a hint that this gentleman, Rob Bast, was an extraordinary artist as far as tree carvings. So we kept 3 stumps, and we had to wait for them for over 12 months for them to dry. But now they've dried. We're seeing Rob at his best, and I've got to say that the first sculpture's quite impressive.
That's it. This one here behind, thoroughbred, long stirrups on purpose?
Yeah, well, our idea is to capture the history of the reserve. So this is like a jockey that I suppose from the 1920s or something like that. And it would have been nice for the harness people to have a harness horse, but the fact the trees aren't long enough for a horse and cart, if you know what I mean. So we had to, and we really left it up to Rob. He's the artist, so we wanted to get what he thought would be good with the size of the tree, and to create a bit of history with past uses of the track. And we thought, well, it's a racecourse, and the one over there is going to be some people cheering the racecourse dressed in period clothing. So we're pretty excited about that. And then the last stump, which is further down, will be is Rob's doing in conjunction with the local Tungarung clan. Mick Harding's another carver, and they're going to do a one that incorporates the history of the Tungarung in the local community, and that's going to be amazing by the sounds of it.
You're giving back to the community. One thing you're not doing, this is not any one person or anyone. There would have been a picture, I suppose, that Rob would have got an idea of.
That's correct.
But that picture would have just been a picture that found, and Rob goes, yeah, I can do that. It's not to signify one person or anyone like that.
No, it's more to the history.
Yep.
We will possibly come up with names for the sculptures, but at the moment we're trying to get them done, and we're trying to walk and chew gum at the same time, I suppose. But we would like to name them, and we've got to get sponsors for them. We've been very lucky. The Kilmore Racecourse have give us some money towards the projects, which was fantastic. And the Bendigo Bank we've got confirmation that they're going to come on board to give us some funding. So we're just ecstatic about that, because it's not like these things they're not for, Rob's not here for free. It's a lot of expense to get them done. But like I said, we just think it's going to be a multi-generational thing for the community, and we just can't see how it can't be a good thing for the people that live within our district.
We went for a walk.
That's correct.
We didn't go the whole way. But we would have gone probably a good K into it. You're saying that once upon a time the race track grandstand was on the back side. You can actually feel that history through. There's a lot of different trees that you've kept all the trees in and around that area with what you've done. But there are trees that have been planted, you got no doubt, like because of grandstands and shades, and you can see where that grandstand once upon a time would have been. So you actually walk past it, you can actually feel a bit of history. So it might be great for the dog walkers, it might be good for people that are, I suppose, seen the race course change over a long period of time. Yeah,
well, we've got some people that'd be still alive. It's a couple of them, the trustees, that actually followed the grandstand over. They brought it over on a military truck. I'm not sure when it was moved. I could tell you the date.
The same existing grandstand?
Not that grandstand, but another one that come over, and it must have got bogged on the way, and, it was a real community project when it was done. And it was all to do, I think, someone can quote me if I'm wrong, but the sun in the afternoon. So they brought the grandstand around so that the sun wasn't in everyone's eyes watching the races.
The people were looking into it.
That's right, too.
Maybe some people at Melton may have
probably
should have had to think about that one too beforehand. I was going to see if Rob wanted to come over and have a chat, but he's actually climbed right up the top, so we won't do that to him. It's not going to be done in 5 minutes. It's going to take a little while to get it finished, but it is staging off. There's a few other things. There's a sculpture going in as well.
We've got the Delicate Balance. Local artist Bernie O'Gorman has loaned us his Delicate Balance.
He's got a harness racing attachment too, don't he? And a thoroughbred.
Thoroughbred, yeah.
And
harness racing. He does a lot of work for Harness Racing Victoria. He's very, very handy man. He can weld anything, and he's quite an amazing artist as well. The sculpture called Delicate Balance is a giant globe with a tortoise that sits on top of it. That balances on top of the world. So it's to sort of say how delicate things are. And so it'll be just going about 100 yards down there on the right. It's ready to go in, and as soon as we can put it in, that'll be something else for the community to gaze on when they walk past. I mean, we hope that it's going to bring tourism to the area. That's what we really hope. I mean, people have told me that, they've heard that people drive hundreds of kilometres to see Rob's work. So if that means they come to Kilmore and they have tea at the Tabro or a pub down the road and spend the night or something, well, it's all good for business. It's all good for the community. And we hope that it'll be a meeting place for a very long time.
The men's shed, you say about that? They make a lot of things. People will be able to walk. They'll be able to see them. They'll be able to walk over, see what they're making. If they want to buy anything and all the rest, they can purchase it, drive around later on. There's
they can. If anyone wants, they can just contact the trustees or go over to the men's shed. But with the trees that come down, the men's shed, we're hoping they're going to get some of the wood from the trees and to make tables and chairs for us to put around the trail, and even some around here. So they'll be made by the men's shed. So they're a great community organisation. I think they've got over 100 members or close to 100 members over there at the old stables that the trustees give them that area because they had nowhere to go a few years ago, and they are absolutely thriving, and it's amazing for men's mental health. As a lot of gentlemen get older and they're at home, you can get a bit lost in the wilderness where they can go there. They can all have a cup of tea. They've got lathes and metal work, and they do gardening. It's quite heartwarming to go over and meet the guys and see what everyone's have a smile, and can only be good.
I've seen the Hunts Road stables change over a long period of time.
Absolutely.
I used to do horses for Lee Hope. That's how long ago back.
Right.
I could go, Lee will be like, I don't even remember being there.
Yeah.
It has changed a lot and probably got run down a little bit at one stage. Yeah. Now, Chibnalls are at one end. They're at the and the garden they've put in there. They've done a smick job. It really looks really good.
Yeah, they have. Tony Chibnall's on one end with his stables, and he's going quite well at the moment. So it's great. He's a local trainer. and the men's shed on the other side, and at the moment it seems to be all working pretty well.
Sell it for tourism, we sell it for people walking their dogs and all the rest. One thing I can say, back when I was a little bit fitter than what I am right now and running, I actually got halfway up Monument Hill. So anyone wants to run, you can start here where we are in front of this, but there you go up Hunts Road and you turn to the left and brutal hill.
It's a pretty steep hill.
It's brutal.
We sort of hope that, if we can get our walking track in, which we will, that it might encourage others to, try and work on the monument or, around where the golf course is. We could see interconnecting tracks.
Yep.
Through hundreds of acres over there that people could utilise. But, with the environmental processes and legislation nowadays, even to get what we got done was quite difficult. But that's what we would like to see in the future, like even our track interconnecting with the one that goes along the creek for the local community. Because, like I said before, there are so many more people moving into our area, and there's people, you can ask Rob, there's literally hundreds of people walking down this track already.
We've had 4 or 5 walk past while we're doing it.
That's right. So, it's only going to gain momentum, I'm sure.
Danny Laws or Hooks, normally a thoroughbred trainer, but that's okay. We have a bit of fun. But thanks for joining me, mate. Thanks for explaining it. We want people to come and see it. Not quite finished. We'll have a set of reins on too. Not quite finished. Needs one more lacquer, I believe, or one more coating.
One more lacquer, I think, in the reins, and this one's done. And as you can see, he's well underway with the second one. And we're just so lucky and blessed that Rob's, taking the time to come, and he's got to drive from over near Yarra Glen every day. So it's a pretty big job for him, and we're just very appreciative that he can do it.
Everyone tries to say God's country. Not many people say that about Kilmore.
Not in winter, no. Anyway.
Danny Laws, thank you very much,
Thanks,
mate. Well done for what the trustees are doing as well. You've done a great job.
Thanks, mate.
Right, just finished chatting with Danny Laws about everything that's going on, but I thought it'd take 5 seconds just quickly catch up. Firstly, Rob, welcome to Campbell's Comments.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant stuff what you're doing. That horse, I mean, it hasn't got a name yet, but it's just sensational. I encourage people to start coming in and getting it. I've only been here for, I suppose, an hour all told, and what you're doing here behind us, this was actually just a straight stump, this one in the middle. You work pretty quick when you get going.
Well, that's why I use a chainsaw and not a hammer and chisel, mate. I don't have the patience for that. But, look, it took a little bit of planning, and I'm still working my way around a little bit, dodging, a lot of this sort of bark inclusion and that sort of stuff here, you see, but working around it and getting there. It's
the sort of thing you nearly want. I'm glad I've seen this at this stage. So next time I come to Kilmore when it's finished, you get to appreciate the work that you've actually done. Any of the locals that are out there, they nearly want to come and have a look at it where it is today or tomorrow, the next few days, and then when they go past, I think they'll really appreciate it, the change. Yeah, look, it really is like that, like you see people, I saw it from the start where it's just a stump and that sort of thing, and it's amazing. It's really humbling, the amount of people who've taken the time to stop and actually come in and say, hey, grouse job, and all that sort of thing. And I really think that the trustees have got a lot of say in this, and what they've done is just fantastic. It's made a big difference, I think. From there was a bit of controversy about the trees coming down and that sort of thing, but to turn it into something that's going to the public's going to enjoy is a really good thing, I think. I ask a lot of dumb questions. You love doing this, don't you? Oh, yeah, it's not too bad. I can think of worse ways of making a living. You just see the smile on your face, and I think the appreciation that you have for your work, and it must be great with an organisation like the trustees that are behind you and backing you and I suppose encouraging you to get it right. You said Danny Laws helped you there a little bit with with the horse, changing it from
absolutely.
The tree. So that must make it a lot better. Yeah. I don't know a hell of a lot about racing and that sort of thing. But just getting those little details that, because I like to, get things correct, so people don't come and go, oh, you should have done this better, or that sort of thing, or they wouldn't really have done that, or such and such, So, it's been really good to have that bit of input to get it right. Couple more months and they'll be finished? Hoping so. Yeah, so weather going as we are in sunny Kilmore, although it hasn't been, it's tried to rain just there as I started, but it's got away. It's a beautiful weather here. Danny Laws will tell me off for that, but I think it's great. And I'm actually going to cheat. Go to robblastsculpture.com.au to check out, I would imagine you've got... Without the L, it's Rob Bast. Yeah, that too.
You can edit that out. That's all right.
ROB. No, I'll leave it in there. I do mistakes all the time. But ROBBASTSCULPTOR. Anyone wondering, I'm looking at his trailer over there. .com.au. And I would imagine that if anyone's looking and says, oh, I wouldn't mind getting in touch with that bloke, that's the best way to get in touch with him.
Yeah, through the website. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, Rob. Well done to you, mate. Thank you very much for changing. It's not always popular, but I reckon you're doing a great job and honouring the past. I think it's terrific. So well done, mate.
Cheers. Good on you.